We all sometimes get to rock bottom. And rock bottom is the best thing that happens to the weak, because only when you reach rock bottom, the only other place is pushing forward. There's no place after rock bottom. You only push back. You fight with everything that you have. And I think as public transport passengers and commuters in South Africa, we've reached rock bottom. We're at the point where we've got nothing to lose. You must go and ask the apartheid government. There was a point where they kept us in captivity. We were fearful all the time, but there was a point where people knew that you're either going to die doing something or die doing nothing. And we chose to do something, and we fought back. And that's the position where we're at. South Africa is in some serious season now. And this season is a season where those who have the money, who have means, can bully you into silence. But there comes a point in our lives where we say, you know what, bring it on. There's nothing we can do. You wanna get me arrested? I'll be arrested anyway, because things are happening now. Those who are politically powerful run the country. What they're not saying is that they have given the country or the actual governance to those who are more powerful than them. And these are mafias. These are people that are remote controlling them from the place of. They're sitting there as stooges, and they look like they're people who are representing us. So welcome. My name is Isaac. It's a new week. Good spirits. Everything looks like it's shining. So I want to deal with a few things today. So I want us to have a conversation. Remember that when at Transit Ringas, we literally deal with everything that has to do with public transport. We are an independent watchdog. We watch over corruption. We watch over the behavior of those that are supposed to be leading us, but all those that are also servicing us. I'm talking about e-hailers, the taxi operators, the bus operators, all forms of road transport. And I think that we've reached a stage where we all agree that in South Africa, public transport is almost non-existent. So I want us to deal with a few things, and it's a conversation. I don't want us to be too hard on ourselves. First, I'm going to deal with our approach on corruption. Secondly, I want to talk about the Free State government and Department of Transport, because regardless of what people say, it is a fact that has always been established that there's corruption in various departments of transport. This includes Eastern Cape Department of Transport. There's nobody who can take that away from us, and that's the truth. So we'll talk about that. I also want to talk about what looks like a lot of wrongdoing in the Free State, in the Department of Transport. I want to talk about it today. I know that they're going to try and get a gag order as well. But we're going to talk about these things. But obviously, one of the things that we had to do in improving the way we do things here, in as much as we did and we're doing everything in our power, that when we come on this seat, we talk about facts. We have now taken a stand that we're going to have fact checkers that are going to be with us here, because people think that we're blowing things out of our ears. We don't. So everything that we talk about, we're going to fact check it. We're going to make sure that we don't trample on people's toes, because reputation is everything. there are people who are really getting hurt when we talk about corruption in specific government departments. So the truth is that it's public interest issue. So you can't stop talking about corruption. You can't stop because it exists. It exists in the Eastern Cape Department of Transport, and it exists also. It also exists in the Department of Transport in the Eastern Cape or Free State is in Limpopo. I now have information about what's happening in Mpumalanga. So it's happening everywhere. And there's no amount of attempts or bullying that would stop us from talking about these things. So I think that's an important thing. But I also think that it's important to also say that under no circumstances we are going to play down or disrespect any order of the court that's been given to us. And maybe this is an opportunity for me to say that you all know that an order was granted against us in the Eastern Cape on the basis of the evidence that was in front of the court. Can I say that the evidence that was in front of the court in the Eastern Cape did not include ours? So we were not there to give what we have. So the court only granted an order based on what the MEC said, and we can't sit here and say the court was wrong. No. We're not in that business. We are in the business of giving the truth. And if we missed our opportunity to give our truth, we will explore other ways because wrongdoing must be stopped. We are not the corruption busters, and there are other avenues that needs to be explored of making sure that wrongdoing is kept under control. So do not for a second think that I saw some of the posts going around that we thought that Transit Ringas only talks about facts. You are right. We talk about facts. And so if we did not get an opportunity or we did not file our own responding affidavits, you can't blame the court. You must oblige. Otherwise, you'll be held accountable. It will be contempt of court if you don't. But I think it's important for you to know that we, as Transit Ringas, we have officially requested the court to give us the reasons so that we can explore appealing the matter. But of course, there are questions that we need to ask. Do I really want to spend R500,000 in defending what I know is true? Or do I want to spend R500,000 to promote this very important platform that South Africans need so bad? We are not a funded organization, so we did not go anywhere and requested anybody to fund us. What you see here is built by ourselves. So we must be careful the kind of battles we're picking up. But here's the truth. We will not stop talking about wrongdoing. That you can bet on. I may not necessarily talk about people's names. My team was very angry with me. So why didn't we do this? Why didn't I said, okay, hold on. We will get better with time. You there, don't forget to gift us. But also note that we are also on other social media platforms. Please follow us across. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, Insta, we're there. Follow us. Those that come on our lives, gift us. We need this money. You see what we're going through. By the way, it's not only from the Eastern Cape we did not get, it's just that one order, but we have a lot of other protection orders that we received from that space and that we're responding to. So our legal department is really, really busy because of what we're going through. But can I say this? And let's pretend nobody's listening. We will not stop about talking about the truth. Okay? We will not. And I can promise you that everything that we talk about, we will always have what backs it up, documentation that backs it up. So rest assured, don't worry about some fake excitement of people excited as if we lost anything. Watch this space. So, where do we start today? So in the Free State, there has been a number of sporadic matches, discontentment that was registered with the Department of Transport, in particular the registrar. We have received information that suggests that there's a lot of wrongdoing, and this wrongdoing is going to cause conflict. Now, conflict in public transport, especially when it involves the taxis, both the operators and the drivers, that always ends up in bloodshed. There has never been a platform in South Africa that confronts that space. None. And that's why the corruption continues and people lost their lives, lost their livelihoods, because those who continue to do wrong things, they do them without accounting to anybody. We also know that there are officials in the Department of Transport. In fact, officials in government are more powerful. You know, when you're a police commissioner, the people that you're leading can pull you down. They can end your career. These constables and the people that are under you can pull you down. Similarly, when you are a coach of a team, when the players don't like you, they can pull you down and you can lose your career because they can consciously decide to pull you down. It happens with politicians. You come into an office, you are a political head, people can pull you down. You just need to understand how to play that game. And I think, and I can say this with absolute authority, that the people that are, especially the MECs and ministers of transport in South Africa, always get into this very liquid environment because officials become more powerful than government. That's why in some instances you would hear them say that one, don't worry about that, he's our person. When you get to that space, you know that the officials have taken control of what's happening in that department. So they can actually see this is where the department needs to go. So there has not been a platform that holds them. So we are, Tina, we have decided that we will travel the less traveled road. It becomes dangerous. It becomes expensive. We know and we understand that. But someone needs to stand up and talk about these things. And I raised my hand and I will not back down. Trust me when I say so. So I spoke a little bit about the what's happening in the Free State. We're going to come back. Let me close something on the Eastern Cape. You remember I told you that before we started, going robust and vigorous about some episodes, we had started communicating with various stakeholders in the Eastern Cape. We had spoken to the opposition parties. We had spoken to the Speaker of Parliament. You remember there was a show where I was talking about the communication that we sent to the MEC, the SG of the ANC in the Eastern Cape. So we've been talking to different people. What we're going to do now is to really put this package together, this portfolio of evidence, and send it in. But we are also sending whatever evidence that we have, because some of them have started responding. So we are sending that evidence to them so that it can be a proper discussion, and you guys are going to make your own deductions. Let me promise you this. There's nothing that we said that we cannot back up. Trust me on that. So in the Eastern Cape issue will have its own life. We're going to talk if there is more information that we get, because we are getting more information on corruption, wrongdoing in the Eastern Cape. Bring it on. We will not be silenced to talk about those things. What we will not do is to be in contempt of court, and therefore anything that requires me to mention the MEC and his name and all of that, I will not do. But I will send information, including to him, because as a political head, he would know that there's wrongdoing and some of these things. Unfortunately, it's his responsibility to act on them. So what I will do, whatever else that I will send to everybody else, he also needs to do something about these things in his department. So there's no love lost. We do the right things here, and if the MEC is what he claims to be, and as a public representative, he will do something about it. So we pack that. We take the Eastern Cape, we put it here, bring the evidence more of wrongdoing in the Department of Transport. Let me say thank you to those who are giving us that kind of information. Continue do it. Continue do it. We're not stopping. So in the Free State, so we're visiting Free State this week, and we're going to run a very interesting series in the Free State. So the public transport system is governed by what we call the NLTA, the National Land Transport Act. It's going to be amended soon, because it needs to speak a little more about the e-hailing business and all of that. So the NLTA recognizes that there will be people who are part of an association, and there will always be people who are non-members. So people who are non-members, for anybody who applies for an operating license with the Department of Transport, the law says, regardless of whether you are a member of an association or you are not, you are entitled to that. What we are not talking about is this true fact that the NLTA, the law also puts the responsibility on the Department of Transport to say that if Isaac applies for a license on a route that is already allocated to a particular association, that specific association must be consulted for it to support, endorse the granting of a license to a new applicant, especially if that person is not a member. Now, in South Africa, non-members it's not easy for anybody who's a non-member, people who don't belong to associations, to get licenses. You know why? Because if a route, almost 100% or 99% of the routes in South Africa are overtraded. Overtrading means that there are more vehicles in a specific route than the number of passengers that are using that. So supply and demand always does not balance. As a result, what we have seen over the years is that a vehicle that used to do 6 loads per day is now doing about 4 loads, if you're lucky, per day. What does that mean? It means that there are more vehicles. It's either the market is not growing or the numbers are dropping. So, and the taxi industry does not have a mechanism of adjusting according to the supply and demand. You know why? Because they don't have what we call market intelligence. You don't know how many people are traveling between, say, 5:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning, and to know how many vehicles you require for that, right? So market intelligence is an important thing, which is what the taxi industry does not have, and you need. But part of the problem is that they cause the problem themselves. They cause the problem because there's this thing called IQAPA. So IQAPA is when the constitution of the organization says that each member will have about 5 vehicles, will be allowed to operate 5 vehicles on this route. And then I have 1 vehicle. Then I'll go get vehicles from my uncle, my sister, everybody else, so that I can have all the 5 vehicles. Now, the 5 vehicles that I'm putting under my name belong to different other people, but I'm bringing them in here on a route that is already overtraded, where the supply is bigger than the demand. So the more vehicles you have, then you are just going to reduce the number of loads. So when they reduce the loads, they start fighting. So this person now starts going to a different route to go pick up people. And then these ones are fighting that you are taking our people. This is what they're doing amongst themselves. That's the truth. Okay? So when they come, it's called encroachment. So they encroach and pick up on the routes that do not belong to them, because the act will clarify what is your A point. So your A point will be from, say, Sandton City into Joburg Central. Sandton City, it would say you're gonna go through that area. You will pass through Ilovo. You'll go through Parkwood, or you'll go Horton until you get to Hillbrow before you get to. So the route will always be clarified and mapped. So when they know that there are more vehicles on that specific route, they take other routes where they are not supposed to go. So part of the reasons why you see the patrol cars, their primary work is to say, let us look at whether the people that are picking up on this specific route belong to the association that is allocated this. That's why Batbakatum Sebenzi. Now I'm taking you into the world of the taxi industry. This is the world of the taxi industry. So those vehicles, the patrollers, their primary task is to make sure that the cars that are picking up on that specific route only belong to the association that is legally permitted to do so. Right? And they don't. So when they get frustrated that the numbers are not numbering, they start telling us nonsense about, no, you can't pick up any person who's on this route must use a taxi. So when you use your private car, you can't be 2, you can't be 3. Nonsense. Stop it. That's not how it's supposed to be done, and you know it. So where we are now, we are saying that that's the situation that's happening even in the Free State. There are people who are given operating licenses in the Free State who don't belong to associations. Fact. We're not saying who has given those licenses yet. We also know, so that's fact number 1. Fact number 2, we also know that there are the office, the Department of Transport, in particular the registry, has got favorites. There are associations or leadership that he or the registrar's office prefers than the others. Fact. We know that the registrar, as an employee of government, will even get laptops and printers to do government work. He gets those as donations from associations. And the associations that are donating these things to him or that office are always preferred, favored the most. Fact. Thirdly, we know that there are people in the registry that have weaponized operating licenses. They can hold your operating license when they when they want. We know that there are associations whose operating licenses will even be printed at night at somebody's house. Fact. So there's something called face value. Face value is what you will show. You will be given by the department as authority that says that you belong here, you are an operator, and this is what you will show to everyone or any authority that stops you and questions your credentials. Face value is a very important document, more like an operating license, if you like. So these things are done willy-nilly. We have proof to that. So there are sporadic incidences where people will say that we are not happy about this leadership, we are not happy about how, and the registrar will go to specific associations because he would prefer specific leadership. And this, we are not saying that any leadership is wrong. We are saying those that are preferred by government officials always get services better than the other. That thing causes conflict. So we're gonna go deep into these things. We also know that from KZN, there are people who came into the Free State who are non-members who registered themselves in the Free State and they are hidden. People get hidden. You register in a particular province and you are hidden. Guys, a Free State, the types of conflicts that we see in the taxi industry are man-made, trust me. But also because you can now see with the Ket Matlala situation, you can see with the KT Mulefe's matter, that the mafia have taken over all economic or most of the economic opportunities, and they control powerful assets that the country requires. What would you say in a situation where a guy like Ket Matlala, who's a known criminal, who just goes out there, he's known, and he will own a security company that even provides service to government? You understand what I'm saying? Part of the crisis that you see in the taxi industry is that those that mafias are contesting leadership positions in the taxi industry. The chairman of an association in a taxi industry is the most powerful person. In most cases, they use their own private security. They either own the security company or... So that position is a contested terrain. Now, if you are giving the people that are contesting power who have nefarious intentions or wrong intentions and they want to control a space, when you give them power to that position and they have access to security companies, you know that they're going to be fighting and they're going to weaponize that security company. And this is something that the taxi industry needs to look at. Contestation of powerful positions, especially the chairmanship of the associations, has gone to dogs. Has gone to dogs, and that makes it very difficult. That's why once they are appointed or elected as a chairperson, it becomes very difficult for them to give away power. But something very interesting happened now in the Eastern Cape. I think it's Uncedo Association. There was elections, I think, about a week or two ago. I saw some friend in the media space in the Eastern Cape sent me their election report. I have never seen something as beautiful as that, where everybody was there to observe when the leadership is democratically elected. Democratically elected. Where the mayor, where the Department of Transport, the police, the kings and chiefs, everybody's there and the community is there to observe that this person is being... it was something very, very... It was refreshing. And I think that the time has arrived where the taxi industry needs to change itself. But what's the purpose of this discussion? The purpose of this conversation is that as Transit Ringas, we have requested the Office of the Public Protector and the Public Protector as well. This office needs to be managed. You know, I think I have issues with speed. Public Protector. In the situation where people are dying, where there's conflict that threatens human life, and you are given a responsibility to investigate that, and you investigate it similar like investigating any other matter, is there a scale? Is there a sensitivity analysis? Is there agency analysis? Is there any of those things that are happening in there? You can't take cases from people, accept that you are going to investigate matters, and then you put them on the roll and they run as... I know what the discussion is going to be. No, we don't have capacity. It's not only your matter. But when you allocate an investigating officer to me, and you say this is the primary person that's going to be your contact, that person needs to be talking to me. You don't decide that they will speak to me in 6 months or 3 months when... Because sometimes you break your own rules. You'll come and say that we'll give you an update every 30 days and you don't. Sometimes it's even better, and I'm talking to the Public Protector, it's even better for you guys to reject matters and say that we won't take the matter. One, it is too sensitive. It requires more than what we have. You must be able to say things like those. But you can't take matters that belong to an industry that is so sensitive, that is responsible for the economy of the country, and you treat it like any other case. I'm not complaining. I am saying, I'm giving you your facts, that you are dealing with issues on public transport, and we've requested you to deal with that. You are too slow. People are continuing to lose their lives and livelihoods. So you must decide what you want to do with this information. And I'm saying to you, those that are responsible for dealing with matters of this level or of this sensitivity, I'm not saying that you are dealing with other matters are not sensitive, but in front of you, you have a situation where people are losing their lives every day. And you continue with life as if everything goes as normal. I think that's unfair. It's a disservice to the people of South Africa, especially the public transport commuters. So work on yourself. Work on yourselves. You know what I'm talking about. You know who you are. You know what needs to be done. I'd like to have my reports. It scares us because we want to give you additional information, but we don't know if we can. I don't want to give you information that's going to be lying in some shelf. We don't deal with things like those. We don't put things on the shelf here. We work on them. So that's the Public Protector side. I want to leave that and go back to the Free State and say that Free State, we are coming to you. We are going to visit you because all of these 5 things that I've spoken about, we have received information that says that even the department that has 16 or 20 people, a lot of people have now become redundant because there's a core group that's working in that department and making all decisions. Your time is up. Your time is up. We will write to you. We're going to ask you questions and we would want you to respond. And if you don't respond, don't run to court and say that you want us to be quiet, because we're going to give you the opportunity to say, 1, did you receive laptops from taxi associations? Are you printing face values outside the office. All of these things we're going to ask them, and we are waiting for your answers. If you don't answer, no amount of bullying or gag order you're going to. This is a media platform, and these issues are of public interest nature, and you can't keep us quiet. Behave. There are conflicts. There are people that are operating in Kwakwa somewhere there. They don't have licenses in Velcom area. They don't have operating licenses. But enforcement is such a poor thing that you as the department, you've lost control of what's happening on the ground. And these things are going to cause violence and conflict there. And if anybody loses their life there, you'll be responsible. You, the registrar. Your name is Ntambo. So we're going to have a conversation. In fact, I'm saying this in publicly because I'm going to write an email to you. I want us to have a conversation, and I know, like many others, you are not going to respond. But you can swabisa that swabisa or no. Yeah, I want to have a conversation so that we get over and done with. But an amount of wrongdoing there is going to be, you're going to call it to order. So I wanted to deal with two things, and I know that it sounds like I'm dealing with too many things, but I'm having a conversation because my mind is spinning. There's just so much that we need to be dealing with. I clarified the issue on the Eastern Cape to say that we've got a court order that was granted against us, and that we've requested the reasons, and we are exploring. We want to appeal it. That's number one. Number two is that we spoke about corruption in the in the Free State. It is building up. It has been going on for the longest time, and people have been talking, and they've been ignored. MEC, you have not acted on some of the things that were said there. Some of the reports, I know that you are aware of some of the reports. I know all your visits to other associations and AGMs that have taken place, visits to other areas, and people were discontent because the officials brief you. When officials brief you, they script you. I've been in communications department of a government department. Script you. This is what you're going to say. It doesn't work because you don't allow the people to give you raw information. And I would like to have this conversation with you. I've said it before. Outside the script, where you can't commit anything, where you can just listen, and hopefully you can do something about it. There's a lot of wrongdoing that's happening in the registrar's office, in the Free State, in the Department of Transport, and if it's not nipped in the bud, there's going to be conflict. And in fact, there are signs that conflict is. People are beginning to confront each other. It's becoming toxic. The environment is becoming very dangerous for people to operate, especially operators. They are old men and women who just want to go to work, get bread for their kids. But there are people who are hell-bent in making sure that their lives are a living hell. It's happening in the Free State and it's happening in other provinces. But in the Free State, it needs to be attended to. Something that ANC MECs needs to learn. The MEC of Transport in KZN went public the last couple of days, and he said that I know that there's a problem with there's corruption with Scholar Transport. Anybody who is a DA MEC, anybody who has an issue with Scholar Transport, bring the evidence to us because we are going to deal with it. They are not suppressing it because there is corruption. Don't suppress it. Don't conceal it. Receive it. Do something about it because that has to do with the reputation of the department. But it's able to identify wrongdoing of the officials in the department. We are harboring there are people who are running a business in the department. There's an exchange there. There are transactions that are happening in various departments of transport. But others are concealing information because they are trying to protect the image of the department. When you do that, you are killing the people. Get rid of rot. Get rid of people that are doing something wrong. If the registrar is found to be on the wrong side of the law, remove them. Remove them. Anyway, you are good with suspending people on paid leave. Get the people, don't give them the responsibility. Don't let them preside over ongoing decisions when already there are suspicions that these people are doing something wrong. There's a group of 4 or 5 in the Free State. They are running a mock of that department. They are changing decisions that were taken some time back. They are changing them. Why are you keeping these guys there? So I'm saying we are now planting a seed so that nobody gets surprised. So if we are in the Department of Transport, you are the registrar, and you feel that these things that we are saying are wrong, please write to us. Tell us what is it that you think is wrong. We will also write to you and tell you what. I'm going to trying to be careful now. The podcasts are litigious, inherently litigious. So there's going to be orders, court orders back and forth. But there's a way that we can deal with this type of truth because we can't stop. So I'm saying that we have mentioned a few things on this particular episode. If you think there's something wrong, tell us. Because if you don't and we write to you and you don't respond, you know that we're going to come for you. And we're going to lay it bare. Now we have learned that the best thing to deal with these things is to take all the reports, put them here and say, this is 1 report, report 2, report 3, and put them there. If, for instance, if there's a PSC report that there's fraud in, that PSC report must be here. Anybody who has an issue with it must refute it and say that, no, we don't. We don't know that. Even the PSC must also say that we don't know that report. We'll give you the reference number. We'll give you the date it was issued. Who are the involved people? We will give it to you, so that people don't come here and think that we're just blowing hot air. We're too old for blowing hot air. But where money is involved, you know how it plays. So I am laying a foundation for what's coming. Let's wait for a legislature process in the Eastern Cape. That legislature process is coming, and the court process is coming. There will be a way to redeem ourselves, because redeem ourselves without, being in contempt of court. Give the truth to where it belongs, and we hope that something will be done about wrongdoing. And in fact, we are inviting the MEC to say that you might have gone to court and you said that we should not talk about your name. But here's the truth that you and I know, is that there's wrongdoing in that department, and that wrongdoing, you are the only person who can actually deal with it. The question is, are you willing to deal with wrongdoing, or are you sitting there and saying that, no, I gagged him, he's quiet, so anything and everything that was wrong that is happening in that department can continue? Or can we write to you and say that this is something wrong that needs to be attended to, remembering that we've written to you before? I'll get a legal, I'll take this for advisement, and so that we can see how we navigate these muddy waters. It's muddy, guys. MacG is now, I had that Sol Penduka from MacG is suspended. And these guys, there's another podcast under MacG, I think the young ones, they said something about coloreds, and the country, was all over. So so things are out. People are just talking, but and all podcasts are designed like that. And I hope we hear now that government is trying to regulate the podcast. I hope you are not going to say we can't say the truth. We will talk about the truth. So for today, I'm just sending. It's an update. This is more of an update to say this is what's happening in the Eastern Cape. But yes, we are preparing for a series of the Free State. But as I conclude, here's something that is very, very important. And this is something that I want you guys to take home. We have complained about the quality of service that we're getting from the taxi industry for the longest time. And we did nothing about it. As a matter of fact, you have decided that you are going to be quiet to save yourself from further victimization. I want to tell you this. There are wrong people that are either operators or drivers in the taxi industry. Those whose intentions are not to give you a better service. And the taxi industry is judged on the reputation of these individuals, operators, patrollers, and drivers. We have kept quiet. What we have seen is that now communities are beginning to ban and torch taxis. Don't do that. We're not there. Transit Ringas is going to give you a discrete platform where we can identify these rogue elements. We are looking for them. We are looking for operators that are damaging the reputation of the taxi industry, the drivers and the patrollers that are taking people out of their vehicles, that are sending wrong messages, that are harassing women when they are wearing short skirts at taxi ranks. We are looking for them. We are looking for them individually and collectively because something is going to be done about them. There are people who are instigating violence, and that's why the conflict in the industry does not stop. And you guys know them. Transit Ringas is bringing a special platform, and I know that some of you already started downloading the Transit Ringas mobile app on the Google Play, and I know that you started doing that. Please do that because we are now in search of people that have contributed to the quality of service that we're getting. They got away with murder for the longest time. Nobody called them out because we were afraid. What happened in Soweto last week or 2 weeks ago, where somebody was shot and torched, 4 or so bullets in the car and then set alight in that same vehicle, was tantamount to people, it's treason, because what they wanted to do was to keep the e-hailing operators in fear, and us as the community and the people, our choice had to be suppressed. We can't. We will not. And thank you to the people of Soweto, not for doing the wrong thing, but standing up and raising a voice and saying that we can't be dictated to by people that we are paying for a service. Now we are starting a serious national mission, and this mission is a mission of identifying rogue units. So the drivers are going to talk to us, the operators are going to talk to us, and you as the passenger, you are going to talk to us. We are looking for those people. Every single rank, every single route in South Africa has got rogue elements. And the only way we are going to identify them is when you guys speak. But you gotta have to speak in such a way that you can't compromise your own security. And the only safe way to do that is by you downloading the app, Transit Ringas App, and report on the behavior of these drivers every day. Every day. And then we can identify those that are rogue units. And we are not going to make noise about them. We can go to them. We can build a profile of every driver through the registration number of the vehicle, build a profile, flag them, and send them to the police. We are no longer going to be making noise. You don't have to stand up on your own, because when you do, they're going to victimize you. All you need to do is to download the Transit Ringas app on Google Play. I think by the end of the week, iOS and Apple will also download. It's for free. When you see something wrong, report it. And just all you need, there's one secret, the code of the app is just getting the registration number. You can get the registration number at the beginning or at the end. This information, we can guarantee your security, your safety, your identity. Nobody's going to. All we need is the registration number of the vehicle, and we can report that kind of behavior. We will get to them. It is our time. We are claiming our space. Therefore, we can no longer be bullied. So stop being a victim, take your position and join the movement of people who are trying to clean the taxi industry. And your voice can be so powerful that it would bring change in this industry. So don't keep quiet. It is safe to do so. It will be the best thing you have done for yourself and for the children. All we are asking is, let's join hands. Let's change South Africa's public transport system. Let's root out corruption and make sure that it can be done. Those of you who have traveled the world, you know how public transport is in developed economies. Anywhere around the world, you can go out and get a bus at 12 o'clock midnight when you're coming back from a party and you are safe. You know that you can get home. You are not subjected to a specific mode, because those that are fighting with us, 7, 8 o'clock, they are no longer there. So let's get public transport to what it's supposed to be. Let's be strategic. Let's join hands, and we can bring the change. Transit Ringas, we are not involved with any government. In fact, you can't be involved with government when you fight government. We don't get grants or funding from government because we want to root out corruption. This is the first in South Africa where us as commuters and passengers can join hands and have a voice. But have a voice that is very structured. We're not just going to randomly just say things. We are going to say, on this particular route, something wrong is happening. On this route, there are unroadworthy vehicles. On this route, the drivers are rude. On that particular taxi rank, the taxi the marshals are rude. They do this to ladies, and it is now structured because we identify where the problem is, so that tomorrow you are able to go to MTN and you know exactly what to expect when you get to MTN. You will soon know which route to take from MTN, because we are going to identify even the crime hotspots. That's what artificial intelligence is about. That's what technology is bringing. So we are no longer going to depend on these guys to have a good heart for them to treat us. We are going to force them. They are going to be screaming there. Some of them are probably insulting me now. I don't give a toss. We are going to get you in a straight and narrow. Scream all you want. Your actions are going to be recorded, and you will not do anything about it, because we will identify you as an individual. I don't care how many weapons you might have. The single thing that you must know is that if you continue to treat the people that are paying you the way you are treating them, your time is up. You are no God. We're not afraid of you. Go speak to whoever you trust. Tell them that this one is going to cause trouble. And the answer is yes, we are. So go think about it. Go think about the role that you want to play, because even those that are with you, that are your fellow drivers, are now going to have an opportunity to report your actions, because you have gone on and you did these things for the longest time and you thought that you are powerful and strong. Let's test it now. So for today, I brought you an update, but I also wanted you to know that hope and the new era has arrived, and Transit Ringas is bringing that space. Corrupt officials, tighten your seatbelts, because it's gonna get nice. I'm Isaac, and I'm out.